Hey, welcome back to Night Owl Henchman Talk, keeping you up on the latest henchman news, or at least the henchman news I want to talk about. And this week, they took our jobs. We should have known it, but you know what it's like. It's better to have henched and lost than to have never henched at all. Anyways, enough about me and the forlorn love life of a working class, lower level henchman. Anyways, my thuggery is boring. Let's move on to episode 7 of Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai. Okay, episode 7 picks up where the cliffhanger of episode 6 left off. Our heroes are trapped inside a bar, inside the spirit market, inside of Ghost City, which is the only way to find the Valley of Jade. Oh boy. So anyway, Riley Green and the evil gremlins are there as well, and he's demanding they hand over Gizmo immediately. Some of the evil gremlins start to pour in the holes in the roof and the rubble like at the end of last episode, but we see Sam fights them off with a match, which can be used as bright light. But a match inside a bar held by a child also means we get the fire scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Anytime there's rising tension, we have to cut away. Here we see this show's version of Brain from Gremlins 2. It's Noggin, who's portrayed by George Takei. He's out there digging through the cart where he found the potion that gave him the ability to speak and understand languages. Now he's got an anti-magic ring. It makes him impervious to all magic. I'm sure that's not important. Anyways, moving on. We see Riley Green's evil crew start to react to the bright light of the fire. Riley's disappointed them because he thought they would be into arson for sure, but I guess not. We then cut back inside the burning bar, and Nua is just being a peach about this. She's a total delight. She's being such a good sport. You can't believe how well she's taken all this. So even the animated camera operator is sick of watching this woman, and they pan right over to Radish, who's hanging out with Theodora and her new friends, the farmers. Now, hold on a second. These are radishes. What does farming look like? Are they planting other radishes? Are they planting humans? Is it a Motel Hell situation? What is going on? So Radish explains this is his new family now, and this is where he taps out of our story. Told you guys, he was totally useless to this whole thing. Anyway, so Riley prefers his gremlin raw rather than cooked, and Riley kicks open the door and turns all the fire in the room into kryptonite using his pinky magic. He immediately notices Elle and Sam and company lurking around behind a table, and he moves it, and what do you know? It's Radish. Riley Green realizes this is nothing more than a speed bump and continues on with his journey. Then we cut to out back of the bar where we see Elle, Sam, Nua, and Gizmo escaping from a wine cellar. Once again, Nua is just being a delight. She has nothing bad to say about human beings. She is being totally supportive of the situation, offering nothing but words of wisdom. Now you may recall, Nua's existence is one of my issues with the previous episode. She was originally presented as the god, not a god. You know, like Odin or Zeus or the god of the Bible or Beyonce, like one of the big ones, not some low-level one that Wonder Woman dispatches of in the first 5 minutes before the credits. So over the course of last episode, she had her agency and power as a god stripped away from her real fast. They Star Trek 5'd her. Anyway, she explains without her magic knife and now being poisoned, she has virtually no magic. So she can't open up the portal to get Gizmo and only Gizmo, get it humans, back to the Valley of Jade. So she points off in the distance to this temple. She says in there we can find the Celestial Administrator and he can open a portal to get Gizmo back home. And up pops one of my other issues I had with the last episode. Those damn cannibalistic foxes. This one in front is such a big deal, they're selling merch. T-shirts now available. Anyways, like everybody else on the show, they're trying to eat Gizmo. And because he smells delicious, they track him down immediately and begin to swarm in on him. Elle realizes they're going way too slow carrying around this Jabba the Hutt butt fake god, so they load her into a fruit cart and take off as fast as they can. So now what you got here is a high-speed cart chase. Not to mention that, if you know the history of fruit carts and car chase sequences, this whole thing is Monty Python level of clever. So to add to the tension, the t-shirt foxes are constantly nipping at their heels, and they're doing the Mad Max thing where they jump up in the air and strike back down on them with axes and spears and stuff. So Sam finds a small bit of oil inside his magic crate, throws it behind him, and spy hunters the cannibalistic foxes chasing them. But it only works for a second. Elle says, "Do you have more traps?" He says, "Just some twine and a little bit of explosives." Explosives? So she reverse fast-pitch softballs one over her shoulder, and kaboom! And we get the Game of Thrones explosion wide shot. And because it's a cartoon and this show constantly wavers back and forth on the stakes of things, everybody's okay. However, we have to wait for the dust to literally settle. Elle uses that time to say, "Give me that magic box," and she straps it on, and her and Snake Booty go running off in the distance. We see the cannibalistic t-shirt foxes chasing behind them. Cannibalistic t-shirt foxes. Good name for your all-girl rock band. Anyways, we then cut to Sam doing his best Barry Sanders impersonation, holding it high and tight with both hands so defense can't strip it. Sam carries Gizmo through the crowd in the market, and that weird bantha thing and that tall thing that looks like the monster from The Ritual all give him them a look and realize we want to eat that Gizmo too. So now the chase is on, coming in this other direction. Sam and Gizmo dip down an alley, and Sam says, "You smell too good, we're never going to get away." So Gizmo looks over and sees an abandoned fish cart. Because he's a fan of The Walking Dead, he knows I can go rub those guts on myself and we can cover up my stench. So he does that, him and Sam go taking off in this fish cart, and now we got 2 carts in the high-speed cart chase. So then we cut back to Elle and Grandma Grumpy Snake Booty being pushed in the cart. And even though she is being pushed in the cart and has nothing to do but just sit there, she still complains. So we get a bit of Driving Miss Daisy as Nua explains why she hates humans. But what's this ahead? Riley and the Gremlin crew waiting on him. So Elle, going down a hill, decides, "I'm not stopping, I'm plowing right through him." And Riley says, "Cool, you're bringing the Gremlin right to me." And the evil cannibalistic t-shirt foxes, hot on their tail, decide, "We're getting something to eat no matter what." So everybody goes barreling down this hill at Riley Green, and as the tension mounts and the music mounts and everybody's about to slam into each other, Elle pulls the ripcord on her parasail and it works like air brakes, and just like in Top Gun, they all fly right by. The cannibalistic t-shirt foxes go slamming into the Gremlins, and warriors come out and play yay yay. It's on. We get a big huge rumble and a giant dust up. It looks like a bunch of Tasmanian devils have just rolled into town. Riley, realizing this is going to cost him time in his valuable quest to eat a Mogwai, starts zapping the razor-toothed foxes with his Coke Pinky fingernail magic. As he's cleaning up shop, Elle says, "Love your work, babe. Ciao," and throws him the deuces. So she goes taking off, so then we cut to Sam also on the run carrying Gizmo in that fish cart. But we see the fish cart blink. Sam and Gizmo pull up to the bridge at the base of the temple they're trying to get to, just as Elle and Nua do too. So everybody's excited that they're all together, and they start helping Nua up to the temple and across the bridge, but they forget about Gizmo standing in the fish cart. And before you can say Minox chewing on the power cables, we get roar! Straight up Jaws. So Gizmo bounces around on the teeth of this evil thing, and Elle takes her hot new whip and runs it into the guts of this Laker fan and pushes him over the bridge into the water. Nua, encouraging as ever, points out, "You moron, you just knocked a river spirit back into the river, the source of his power. How stupid could you be?" Can you see how I've fallen in love with her? Of course you can. Next thing you know, the giant catfish is back from a rave and ready to dance. He drops down on Elle and apparently eats her. But before we can actually confirm that death, Nua pops up and uses her last bit of energy to cut through that catfish Sharknado style. And while the audience is marveling at the grossness of an inside of a magical catfish, we look over and see Elle, who appears to be dead. But this is now a fantasy show, so she's only Princess Bride dead, not real dead. So they rush her up to the doors of the temple and begin knocking. There we meet the Celestial Administrator. He has them bring Elle inside, and he does a bit of magical mumbo-jumbo. Sam and him get into an argument like a medical drama. It's kind of cute. And ta-da! Of course, Elle is back. We needed that dramatic beat of loss, but she's here now and everything's okay. Except Nua. She's not okay. Although she does announce that after 1,000 years of hating humans, watching Elle try to save Gizmo was a selfless act, and she believes that some humans are in fact good. So she says it's cool that the kids go with Gizmo to the Valley of Jade after the Celestial Administrator opens up the magical portal. And then Gizmo says, "Aren't you coming?" And she says, "No." And she leans in, and there's a sweet moment of redemption for her where we says, well, at least she's an animal lover. And she turns and heads towards the door. So basically, Han Solo is walking out on that bridge. Gizmo says, "No!" The door closes behind her, and we watch her walk out onto the porch, and she does a bunch of kung fu magical mumbo-jumbo and summons up mystical light. We see this light has power because it blasts Riley and the crew right in the face. Riley returns fire with his magical low pan from Big Trouble in Little China invisible video game controller magic, and the two of them have an Aurora Borealis fight above this bridge. Since tension is at its highest, we cut away. Back inside the temple, the Celestial Administrator is opening a portal, and this is all very Doctor Strange. They ought to send a check to Doctor Strange on this one. So the kids run into the portal, and they pop up ready to freeze to death in a mountainous snowstorm. Just at about the point where they question if they were going to freeze to death or not, Gizmo points out, "Happy green butthole, 9 o'clock, yo." So rather than show children trying to traverse the side of a mountain, we cut back to the magic fight. The Gremlins are somehow losing, because even though drunk and poisoned, she still got angry old bitch strength. However, Noggin, earlier in the show, had acquired a ring that makes him impervious to magic. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So he's able to walk through the magic fight like it's not even there. Okay, quick reminder. What you've got here is Chekhov's anti-magic ring being worn by Sulu. Oh, Gremlins, I love you sometimes. Anyways, Noggin runs up and takes a big shark bite right out of the side of Grandma Jerkface. And I winced, she winced, her magic stopped, and the Gremlins rained from the sky like it's raining men, hallelujah, every specimen. Riley says, "Enough of your bad disco references, I'm about to eat this old bag and become extremely powerful." And sure enough, we see her swallowed whole, and Riley lights up with energy from all around the universe as it pours into his body, and he becomes a god. The end. Oh, as mad as I was last week is now as happy as I am this week. I should have, like I said at the end of last week, the show has built up enough trust with me that even though that last episode was such a stinker on so many levels and just pacing and animation, I had problems on every direction on that last episode. I feel like they kind of inflated the balloon full of adventure kid horror stuff, Monster Squad, Erie, Indiana, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, all that. And they inflated the balloon so big with that they kind of had to let the air out so now they could re-inflate it with this sort of Shazam, gods fighting gods, Gremlins involved sort of thing, you know. But what happens when you let the air out of a balloon? You get a big fart noise right in your face. And that's what episode 6 was. You know, I didn't like any of it, but now the resolution of where it's like, yeah, the person who kind of ruined everything and slowed the pace down and all the stuff that sucked is now pretty much gone and off the table. And now we can just sort of move forward with a clean slate to reinflate the balloon with all of this magical stuff, you know, the fantasy adventure thing. So, yeah, the change of gears and immediately turning left when we were going right is just, you know, gave me whiplash for a minute there. But now I'm back on board with the show. Things are going well. The comedy's still funny. Anyways, are you enjoying it? Did you like it? Did you love? According to IMDb, episode 6 was the highest rated episode of them all. And that's the one I was very disappointed in. So, I don't know. Did you like episode 6? Did you hate this one? What are your thoughts? Your thoughts, they run deep. Share them with me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue the Gremlins journey with me, I'll put the current running playlist of them all right here. And then I'll put some video. How about the one YouTube picks out for you right here? How's that? Huh? Otherwise, you can find all these on my page. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. You don't need to hit that bell. That bell's weird. I don't trust that bell. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.